welcome to my channel, Jazz in Blooms. It is spring 2026 and I am doing a bit of spring cleanup. Now this plant here is a Limelight Hydrangea. I have two Limelight Hydrangeas at the entrance of our front yard, and I typically cut them back in early spring. As you can see here, this one has grown so tall. It's practically about over 6 feet, if not 6 feet tall already. It is kind of on a ramp or a slight hill at the front, so I'm kind of somewhat below it, just cutting the dead branches off of the top of it. Now I typically cut them back about just a little below the spent bloom. If the stem is strong or not too small, I would say I typically leave them as is. If the stems are like thin, like as smaller than a pencil width, I typically just cut them out, because you do want to have stronger stems to hold up the bigger limelight blooms when they do bloom. Time to cut back these beauties. They're already budding up. It's time to cut them back. Now this scene is after cutting back the hydrangeas that are directly in front of my porch. As you can see here, I have cut off all the dead blooms and they look so much better. You can see a lot of buds popping out. So I'm excited for this new season. This particular plant here in this pot is a heuchera or coral bells. I also gave that a good cutting back as well. There are two trees at the curb in front of our property that blooms white blooms around this time of year. I'll show you a pop-up here. What I'm doing here is I'm getting a few clippings to take inside. I like to do that around this time. That's an easy way to bring the outside inside your home. Clip a few branches of a tree that's blooming, put it up in a vase, and you have an instant flower arrangement. I'll show you here shortly later on in the video. So here I am just taking a few clippings off of these two trees. So as you can see here, I have a bag full of dried, spent Limelight Hydrangea bloom heads. This is actually the second bag. So we have about, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Limelight Hydrangeas in the front yard, and I have 5 hydrangeas in the backyard. So at this point, I was in the backyard cutting back the remaining ones. So as you can see here, this bag is pretty much full. So if you've been following for a while, you probably recall when I purchased 2 apple trees from Walmart on clearance for only $10 each. Now this particular tree has not bloomed since it's been planted. This is the 3rd spring it's been in the ground, and we finally have buds. We finally have bloom heads. So I'm showing you here all the bloom heads that are hanging lower, and majority of the blooms are at the top of the branches. You probably can't see it from this shot, but I am super excited that this one, I believe this one is the Pink Lady Apple tree. So I'm excited that this one is finally blooming after this is the 3rd spring. So I'm excited to see those apples on the tree, which I'll definitely show you guys later on in the season. So I will continue to cut back these hydrangea heads as the season progresses. I probably will be cutting them further back, as once they're blooming, they tend to block the water flow for this fountain. But for now, I'm just clipping off the heads of these pent blooms. So last year and the year before, I did an experiment where after clipping the hydrangeas a bit back, a few longer stems that I had, I stuck it into a bin with some soil and wanted to see if, without any extra care, without any extra fertilizers or anything special, just the cool spring weather, I wanted to see if they would grow on their own. And as you can see here, I actually have 2 that survived in this bin, and they were blooming. I shared it on my YouTube shorts. I'll show you a pop-up here. So I'm doing the same thing this year. I'm sticking a couple branches in the same soil in the same bin, and hopefully we'll see how many of them decide to root and eventually become a full plant. So as you can see here, these are the 2 stems from last year that are regrowing, and I am sticking 4 more stems in the soil for this year. So fingers crossed they'll root and bloom as well for us this summer. Now, the branches that I clipped from the front yard, I will be placing them in this vase. I thrifted this vase for only $2.99 at the Salvation Army. And here I am just, trying to see how it would look inside the house. But I will take it inside and give it a good cleaning before I style it in one of our rooms.